Hi accounting class, it's another great day to do accounting. Today is going to be a short video. This is mainly for my students that are online looking for bonus points to get exempt from the final. So I'm going to give you a bonus opportunity here. My goal here is we're creating new notes to replace the textbook and provide it free to the future students. As part of that, we're making our own homework, and that's going to be the point where you can earn the bonus points is by testing those out and earning 80% or above, and you can get 5 points added to either exam number 3 or the final. So you can choose and we can talk about it, whichever one is better for you. But the first part of this, we have our new notes out there. This link will take you, I already have it downloaded, so I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So here are our new notes. We got an image right there, but we go through each one of the chapters and the material. That's going to be your best point for finding information to answer the questions on the Blackboard homework. To find it, we're just going to go to Blackboard homework, and there's 3 of them here: chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and you can see the information here. It can get you plus 5 points to if you reach 80% or greater on them. We're going to see that some of these might be a little bit challenging because Blackboard doesn't give you specific feedback on problems. It'll tell you which, if you got a problem right or wrong and what percent you got right or wrong, but it doesn't tell you exactly what boxes are right or wrong. Again, if you reach 95% average or above on exams number 3, you will be exempt, and these points will add to the exams, whichever one you choose to help you reach that target, or we can apply it to your final. That's another strategy because a final can replace a lowest test score. So you have either choice. Each one has unlimited attempts, so it's not like it's a one and done thing. You can do it as many times as you want, but it requires a new start each time. So it's not going to be something you want to just guess at over and over until you get it. You may want to just do one part, perfect it, then do the next part, but you're going to have to enter the answers each time for the previously answered questions. Let's go and look at Chapter 1 homework. I think Chapter 1 homework may be one of the most difficult ones because I was just learning how to set up Blackboard and all the information, so I didn't space it out. On future ones I have more questions which give you better feedback. Here we have a few long ones like that one and this one. The first one's just normal balances. You should know these if you've been in an accounting class, hopefully. If not, you can find them in Chapter 1 near the end. Here are all the definitions in Chapter 1. If you read through, they're mainly the bold words in the notes, so you can find the bold words and you can see kind of what we're trying to hint at here. So some type of description, you just match it, pick the appropriate letter. Each one will be used once and only once. Here's a few things you can read through the notes, just testing like cost concept. This one's the business entity concept, etc. Which legal structure, again, you can find this information on Chapter 1. The normal balances, again, I put this in there. New students just need to get the normal balances down. It's so important for recording transaction Chapter 2, so we're actually going to see this question asked 3 times. I'm just trying to drill it into students' memory. Alright, question 9. This one we need to be careful and actually read the instructions. I have changed this problem to be more clear, but I can't update the change because some students have already started on this assignment. So in the future I'm going to have 2 boxes. That way it's very clear that I want to balance and indicating whether it's debit or credit here. So I think this one's 14. And then we want to put the debit word. So I'm actually giving you the answer to the first one, which is 14245. Now it doesn't matter, I've programmed, or it doesn't matter if you use a $ or a comma or any combination. So you can use $, commas, or any mixture, or none of them. Either way it'll count it correct. But make sure you have that space in the debit for this version of it. Here's just a calculation. So you look at Chapter 1, the accounting equation. You got the 2 numbers here, so then you figure out stockholders' equity, and then assume if stockholders' assets increased, liabilities decreased, what's the new stockholders' equity a year later? The third problem, here's another long one. This is what makes it hard in the long ones is it's going to tell you what percent. Say you got half of these right, it'll give you a response. You got 4 of the 8 points, but you're not going to know specifically which ones are right or wrong. But you can look through the notes and you can figure out, make sure they have all the different drop downs here, but the first part is only going to contain one of these first 3, the balance sheet, income statement, or statement retained earnings for any of the accounts in this column. For the type of account, it's only going to be asset, liability, so it's going to be the next tier. Assets down to dividend. That's the only thing you would put in this entire column. And for normal balance, it's just the last two. It's either debit or credit. So cash, of course, goes on the balance sheet, but it's going to count this wrong. It wants that information over here on the financial statement. It wants the type of account. For cash, it's an asset. The normal balance of an asset is a debit. So that's the appropriate way to look at that one. Again, the normal balances again. Go and save and submit and show you what I'm talking about. See, so I got a fraction of the points, but it's not telling me, well, of course the ones where I didn't give an answer are wrong, but it's not going to tell me that these are right necessarily, so you're not going to know exactly what's off, but you can find the information in the notes. All of these are defined in the notes. Alright. Let's look at Chapter 2. I think Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 are going to be a little bit easier. We're going to see why. See, I've split these up into smaller chunks. That way you can get a little bit better feedback. If it's giving you half the answer, at least once you get this one all the way solved, then you know it's right and you can move on to the next one. But these are about the same questions we saw in Chapter 1. I'm trying to get students familiar with financial statement, the type of account, and its normal balances. That's going to help them journalize transactions, which is next. So we give you a chart of accounts whenever we journalize transactions in Blackboard. Every account that's going to be used is in this chart of account. We have some questions here. I want to make sure students read the instructions here. So all the accounts, yes, all the accounts are in the chart of accounts above. Spelling does matter, so very important. Like accounts receivable, we all have, I think most of us have trouble with the I before E except after C rules, but you don't really need to remember. It's up here if you need to look at it, but that is the correct way to spell it. But in addition to AR, you can use the acronym. So yes, it counts off for spelling. Do we have to capitalize these account? No, it's not case sensitive. So you can capitalize a C in cash or lowercase c in cash and it should count it correctly. So we can use acronyms, but only if they're listed here. So for AR and AP, we can use the acronyms if they're listed. Our dollar signs and commas, again, you can do either way. You can use dollar signs and comma or not. So are we required to? No, we're not required to. And yeah, we have to enter debits before credits on the journal, and that's the only way they're set up. See, it's wanting the debit information before the credit information. Let's go and try one of these. So this one's going to be the cash for 100,000, and I'll show you also. I'm not going to capitalize common stock, and I'm going to show it with a dollar sign and a comma. And we just have all the journal entries for all the other types of transactions here. I'm going to go ahead and save, submit, and see. Okay, I got all the points there. So you see it didn't matter that I capitalized one, didn't capitalize the other, and it doesn't matter if I use dollar signs and commas or not. Alright. Alright, here we got Chapter 3, Homework 1. Again, all these terms will be defined in the notes, so it will be helpful just to have the notes open on another screen or somewhere and look through it and see where you see that these words are talked about, and you can find the one that best fits it. Again, they're used once and only once, so you can treat it like a puzzle. Do the ones you know most surely first and leave the last ones for last. Just definition of cash and accrual basis stated at the very start of Chapter 3. We're going to have more journal entries, so we introduce a new chart of accounts that has some new accounts in it. And then with just the adjusting entries that they do. Here's one with depreciation. I provide the formula for straight line depreciation, but most of the students, we've already been through Chapter 9 for you, so you're probably familiar with it. Here, this is why I want to split up the boxes when I ask for an amount and then the debit or credit. So there's two different boxes, making it clear we want amount first and then the debit or credit, whatever type of balance it has. To get these, it starts off with a beginning balance, but you're going to see where wages was affected, then add or subtract it to this number, depending on the rules of debit and credit to get to the ending balance. So you are going to take this beginning balance and consider wherever wages expense was adjusted here and add or subtract the change to get to the ending balance. Alright, but that's really it. That's all I wanted to show you for the homework. Again, if you get it to 80% or above, I'll add 5 plus 5 points to an exam of your choice, and I'll post all the information on an announcement too. Alright, until next time, see you guys next time.